A woman was apparently fired for what she said about Charlie Kirk.
She put on her Facebook page, all the views there were hers and hers alone. She did not identify her employer on her page at all. Some folks online found it, did the sort of homework to find out that she was a Tennessee state employee. And then she's one of the hundreds of employees across the country that were swept up in a wave of cancellation attempts after the assassination of Charlie Kirk. We need to stand up for folks' rights to express themselves on their own time.
A woman named Monica Meeks, an Army vet and a longtime employee of the Tennessee Department of Commerce and Insurance, was apparently fired for what she said about Charlie Kirk after his death. Apparently, she was responding to another friend's Facebook post, and she said some things that have gotten her in trouble. Now, she claims that she had stellar reviews, and this was not based on performance. So apparently online, she responded to a friend's social media post about Kirk with the statement, "The way you tap dance for white supremacists should be studied." And in response to that, a bunch of accounts on X called for Meeks to be fired by the Tennessee Department of Commerce and Insurance. Now, apparently, she didn't put on her account where she worked. And that's a very important point here. Meaning, if she was identifying her employer, there could be an argument that she was representing that employer, and that could be a fireable offense. The position that she is taking is this was just her personal political views. So, if that's true, I don't really know what the defense is going to be in the Middle District of Tennessee. Now, my guess is that they're going to say that it was somehow based on performance, but maybe I'm wrong. Let's ask Greg Grubel. He's from the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression. It's also known as FIRE. It's a really good organization because they're apolitical, right? What I like about FIRE, you may disagree with positions they take, but they will, they're honestly often viewed as right-leaning. I don't think that's a fair characterization, but in the woke world, that's the way that that's the way that they were being perceived. Meaning, when Biden was in office and they were suing the administration and they were suing on behalf of people, who got canceled or whatever the case may be, they were the right-leaning group FIRE, which isn't true. They are a First Amendment absolutist group. Greg Grubel is a senior attorney for them, and he joins us now. Greg, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Dan. I'm glad to be here.
All right, so explain to me what is, obviously it would violate, well, I shouldn't say obviously. It seems to me obvious that it would violate the First Amendment if she was fired solely for these comments where she referred to Charlie Kirk as a white supremacist, if she didn't mention it in the connection with her job and her position was not mentioned in her social media. Is it clear that that was the case?
Yeah, it is clear that was the case. She put on her Facebook page that all the views there were hers and hers alone. She did not identify her employer on her page at all. And by the way, this comment of hers appeared on her friend's page, not her own. So she was commenting on a friend's post. Some folks online found it, did the sort of homework to find out that she was a Tennessee state employee. And then she's one of the hundreds of employees across the country that were swept up in a wave of cancellation attempts after the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Now, what is the possible defense here? Because, apparently the organization, the entity in Tennessee is not responding for comment. What do you expect they're going to say?
I think their defense is that, according to them, this harms the reputation of their department, of the Department of Commerce and Insurance somehow. I don't really understand that. And they are going to say that this is maybe, in some people's mind, made her not a trustworthy employee. But to accept that as true, you would essentially have to accept the premise that government employees should always agree with you, whatever your opinions are. And that's simply absurd to believe that that's something that we could maintain here in a democracy, that everybody that works for the government has the same view on a certain topic.
You know, it was interesting because I looked at a lot of the responses to her and your filing of the lawsuit, and most of the folks on the right who were opposed to you on this were basically saying, well, if she wasn't a black person talking about a white person, that this would be totally different. That if this had been a white person calling someone I don't know, what would it be, a racist, or calling someone a name, someone who is of color, that would be a different situation. What is your response to that?
Fire would protect the speech of those folks too. We're nonpartisan, and this doesn't have anything to do about Monica's race. This is all about the action of the government employer, and that they are punishing Monica simply for expressing a viewpoint that they don't agree with. That's what the issue is here. And, the First Amendment protects minority viewpoints, not in the sense of, racial minority or something like that, but just viewpoints that are unpopular in the community where you live. So Fire traditionally will defend conservatives in California and liberals in Texas. Wherever it is that the government is abusing their power, that's where Fire shows up and defends the speech of the individual that's being punished simply for exercising their First Amendment rights.
Yeah, I think those of you who are going to try to criticize Fire for somehow being hypocritical based on race are going to have a really hard time if you dig into the history of what they do and how they do it.
And Dan, I myself have helped students from TPUSA form student groups when they were being denied the right to do so. It's incredibly important that we as an organization at Fire are consistent about these things. And we are. You can go back and look at our track record. We are consistent, and we're proud to be defending Monica, and we're proud to defend all of our other clients that get in trouble for saying things that people don't like.
Here is Monica Meeks. This is the social media post that she shared about her story. This is number 12. Let's listen.
In the United States, you should be able to hold an opinion and a job. But I was fired for doing just that. I'm Monica Meeks. I served for over 20 years in the United States Army, and I'm a lifelong public servant. Now I'm being denied the very rights I fought for. When I'm off the clock, I like to debate politics with the battle buddies I served with. After the murder of Charlie Kirk this fall, I had a debate with a conservative battle buddy on Facebook. I told him I thought Charlie Kirk promoted white supremacy. Hey, you don't have to agree with me. He certainly didn't. But this is how debates are supposed to work in this country. Two people from different perspectives hashing it out. I was sharing my personal views, not speaking on behalf of my employer. But someone didn't like it. They took a screenshot of an exchange with my battle buddy and eventually tagged the Tennessee Department of Commerce and Insurance's X account. A handful of people later commented on the department's X page and demanded that I get fired. Hours later, my phone rang. It was my supervisor. She told me to check my personal email. When I opened it, I found a termination letter from Commissioner Carter Lawrence waiting for me in my inbox. I was shocked. My Facebook profile doesn't even mention where I work, and it clearly says that all my opinions are my own. I had 9 years of spotless service, great reviews, and received bonuses for my work, all thrown away because a few people on the internet didn't like what I said. This sets a dangerous precedent. Even if you don't like my views, do you really want trolls deciding who the government can hire and fire over a single comment they disagree with? If that's the standard, none of the millions of public employees are safe in America, and no opinion is free. That's why I'm suing Commissioner Lawrence. I served my country to defend these very rights, not lose my jobs for exercising them. Today it's me. Tomorrow it could be you.
I mean, that makes a hell of a lot of sense to me, but if any of you disagree, feel free to call in at 866-967-6887. On this. Did you guys help her make that video?
Well, in the sense of, we put it out on our social media platforms. Right. Yeah, of course. Right. Yeah.
No, I know you guys put it out on your social media platform, but it's a well done, it's a well crafted argument that she's made, right? Where she inserts both her military background and the key facts that work in her favor. It made me think, I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just curious if you guys helped her actually make the video as well, in addition to distributing it.
Well, Monica is someone who came to us with an incredible story, and she is more than capable of putting that together herself. So, yeah, we have provided assistance in some ways, but really, this is Monica's story, and she was able to help us really tell it in a compelling way. But she served in the military for 20 years, and then went straight into working for the Tennessee state government. And throughout all of those years, she had been a great soldier, a great employee. She knows how to follow orders. She knows how to do her job. And for her to lose her job over that one kind of social media post, I think shows the kind of frailty of the First Amendment when folks don't take it seriously and don't respect that you don't have to agree with what somebody says, but you should defend their right to say it.
Are there other Charlie Kirk related cases that you guys are working on?
Yeah, another case that we've been working on that the president of FIRE, Greg Lukianoff, had an op-ed in the New York Times about was an officer that posted, a former police officer named Larry Bushart, who posted a meme following the Kirk assassination and was put in jail for 37 days for it. He was someone who was just engaging in the sort of thing that Monica was engaging in, posting memes, sharing their opinion, and he got put in jail for it. So that's another case that we're working on right now, and it's not yet been filed, but to encourage folks to go read Greg's piece in the New York Times about it. Greg did a really excellent job writing that, and I think it really illustrates the problem that we are seeing here. And I think Monica's case combined with Larry's case shows the kind of problems that are existing here and what we're trying to do to solve it.
Here's J.D. Vance. This is a few months ago in a remembrance, and he was sort of encouraging people to do exactly what happened here. This is number 13. Let's listen.
Civil society, Charlie understood this well, is not just something that flows from the government. It flows from each and every one of us. It flows from all of us. So when you see someone celebrating Charlie's murder, call them out. And hell, call their employer. We don't believe in political violence, but we do believe in civility. And there is no civility in the celebration of political assassination.
I do think that there have been a number of public officials who have been calling for people to call their employers. And let me ask you, would it be different, Greg Grubel from the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, FIRE, would it be different if this wasn't a government job? Meaning, if she made the exact same comments, right, and she worked at, Walmart, and Walmart decided we're going to fire her because we don't want to be associated with that kind of language, would you still be filing a lawsuit?
We would not be filing the lawsuit of Meeks versus Walmart because the First Amendment doesn't apply to Walmart. But I would say that, we at FIRE are promoting not just the strict legal protections of the First Amendment, but a culture of free expression overall. And, I think folks need to be able to handle knowing that they work with people or interact with people that hold views that are different than their own. When you're calling for people to be terminated for expressing a view, and to be clear something here too, Monica was not condoning what happened. She was expressing her opinion about the activities that Charlie was engaged in while he was alive. She wasn't condoning political violence. She wasn't celebrating his death or anything of the like. She was simply expressing her opinion in response to something her friend posted. So we would.
And let me ask you, if she had celebrated Charlie Kirk's death, would you have still taken this case?
I mean, every First Amendment case is different based upon the specific facts of it. But I mean, purely just that idea that celebrating it. Yeah. I mean, if there's no disruption to the workplace environment, I mean, that's the standard. It's not that, oh, I really don't like what this person said, or I really, really don't like what this person said. If they said something and it doesn't disrupt their work environment, it's protected. And yeah, but we need to stand up for folks' rights to express themselves on their own time.